Transferable skills hold a lot of currency in today's working world, and Peigh has experienced many different working environments, but Trapped Fruits is his first project within the food space. In this Service Please Snack, we talk about the upskilling involved in starting and operating Trapped Fruits, but also the lessons learned in other working roles which have been applied to pushing Trapped Fruits forward.
It's an interesting one because, yeah, like you say, I've worked in other different commercial spaces in terms of like advertising and, you know, swimming and loads of other stuff. But yeah, I've never ever worked in the food space. And yeah, it's an interesting one because actually, first of all, twofold, product and service, you know, product. I've never really worked in anything where it's just solely the product, you know, like when so I have a swimming club, which is kind of how we met, Swim Them Crew, and well, we met at the market actually, but you know, that's kind of what I suppose fostered our relationship, and that's always been a service, you know, it's never really been, I mean, even though yes, it is an LTD business and whatever, it is a company, it's just always been providing a service rather than a product. And in doing Trapped Fruits, I was like, oh right, but this is a product. This is completely different. This is like, yeah, this is like perishable goods. This is things that people want to eat and everything like that. So that was a kind of a bit of a code switch or mind switch I had to figure out in my brain. But then even just kind of down the line, when we started doing catering, I was like, okay, now we're offering a service. But I think I quite like the product side and I quite like the food side because okay, look, it's just like when I came to your market and I tasted that burger for the first time, you instantly got to see how that food made me feel. And I got to instantly see that through Trapped Fruits and the fruit and everything like that, the joy that it brought people, you know, so whether it would be in a market in King's Cross and I say, look, taste this, and they're like, fucking hell, yeah, that's really nice, like, that's the best mango I've tasted. I'm like, yeah, I told you, like, you know, look, listen, this is proper grapes, like, they're massive. I was like, yeah, I told you, you know, so I kind of get joy from seeing their joy, you know, through food, because I like food anyway. So food, and that's how it all started. Food is what brings me joy. I wanted to share that joy, and then now I can see their joy firsthand. So I think I've probably gone around the houses to answer your question, but yeah, I'm quite enjoying being in the food space. Yeah.
And what are the transferable skills in which you've taken from other things that can go into that? And then where are the elements of it where you've been like, this is brand new to me. Like this is a bit of growth here.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling at times. You know what I mean?
I think the foundation, the foundational transferable skills are just kind of organization, discipline, you know, those kind of things that I've picked up through, not just through working, but even through sport. You know, I think that definitely helped me in my work life, you know. So those are transferable skills, definitely. But also, so I work part-time in advertising and I'm an art director. And so what that means is, so I'm a creative, but I'm an art director in that creative duo. So typically in advertising, you'd have a creative duo and one would be the copywriter who is kind of solely responsible for the words and the copy. And then you'd have the art director who's more about kind of the look and feel, the branding, you know, how's it really going to show up, you know? And so that's my role. And I think one of the transferable skills that I definitely took from that into this space of Trapped Fruits is how it looks, you know, the look and feel of the brand, like how it shows up, you know, so all the branding and everything like that, that's something that I took serious, you know, like no, it's got to be this particular green, or no, it's got to be this particular font, or like, those are stuff that I took really serious, you know. So I would say those are the transferable skills that I brought over to Trapped Fruits. In terms of the things that I found difficult, it probably isn't specific to a food business, but maybe more a business per se, is just, you know, spreadsheets and formulas and profit and loss. All of these things, I'm like, oh, I'm like, no, oh my God, you know, but I forced myself to do it, you know, I forced myself to make spreadsheets and I forced myself to do it, and I was learning, and actually I quite found joy in So look, a big part of my job is creative problem solving. So I kind of get kicks out of doing that. So I kind of found joy in like, oh fuck, I can't do this thing, and then you do like, oh great, you know.
Yeah.
So my spreadsheets, I've got loads of spreadsheets, and someone would look at me and think, right, I didn't even think Peigh would be that kind of organized and with spreadsheets, but you know, I know that there's a next level. You know, I've got the kind of little formulas here, basic things is working, it works, but I know that there's the next level. You know, I've looked at a profit and loss one before and I was like, Jesus Christ, you know, so like I can do it from like week to week. I know, right, this is what we spent, this is what we do, the formulas talk to each other, great. But then yeah, like kind of forecasting and looking for like the whole year or the next 6 months, I'm not at that stage yet. I'm not at that stage. And also just like understanding the world of tax, you know, that was one of the goals that I put to myself this year, to become a bit more financial, to kind of my financial literacy, you know, to kind of get better at understanding, okay, this is this tax, this is this, okay, this is how you pay yourself dividends, all of this, you know. So because when we were swimming, we paid ourselves via PAYE, you know, so I didn't really do the dividends thing over that side. So now I'm learning all of these things. So, but I've put it to myself like, right, you have to go and learn these things. So I'd say that's probably the most difficult part for me.
Yeah. And did that transition and then learning those skills, do you think that then took it from almost creating more of a business mind on it and being like, right, well, we didn't do that this week, and that's because of this. Like, it makes it more granular and you understand the reasons why that particular thing hasn't worked, or you're like, you know, we went and delivered X amount of boxes this week personally, and that cost us this amount of labour, that amount of thing. Actually, we need to get a distributor to be able to like, and you know what I mean?
100%. Because even in that spreadsheet, I put billable time. So that was something I learned through working in advertising and all of that, because I would work, and you know, so let's say I was writing on a Maynard's Bassett account. So Maynard's Bassett's, you know, who's owned by Mondelez, they would pay the advertising agency, let's say, £1 million for the year, and say, for that £1 million, we need four adverts, 4 TV ads, and 3 print ads. And then the advertising agency would say, okay, cool. What resource can we put to this? Okay, so we're gonna put 2 creatives on it, and we're gonna put 2 account people on it, and we're gonna put that, and their billable time is this. So, okay, they spent 8 hours a day on it. So, okay, they spent 160 hours on this thing, you know? So then I learned that from there. So then I would put that in our spreadsheets and go, okay, right, packing boxes, I'll put everything. So packing boxes, okay, that's 2.5 hours. Deliveries, that's 3.5 hours. So I'll put all of that in. So I count it as billable time, you know? I'm not saying we pay ourselves just for that, but I just need to know and have an idea and go, okay, well, you know, as well as all the other stuff, administration, I put that, okay, how much time is administration for the week? So all of these things, I learned that from working in those commercial spaces, but I applied it to this. So the spreadsheets are always, it's funny because it's me activating another side of my brain really, because I'm more a visual person, that kind of side of my brain, but you know, looking at data and looking at these things is almost activating another side of my brain, which I'm quite excited about, because I'm learning, you know. So I'm enjoying it.
Great.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that snack from the full episode with Peigh of Trap Fruits. If you could tell one other person about this podcast, or even use their phone to like, follow, and share, it will be much appreciated. You can also go one step further and become a patron of the podcast via www.serviceplease.io. Any monthly contributions will help amplify the voices of the hospitality and wider food industry, enabling more people to understand the innovations and daily struggles of one of the most dynamic sectors, and of course, the tastiest.